Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed one of the greatest comebacks in West Virginia history as we watch them out here take out Texas Tech here in Mount Field. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say it was one of the most impressive games that I've seen thus far. The Mountaineers really struck out and now really pulled themselves and found a way to win this game. Well, let's talk about early on in the game. We saw all kinds of things going on, but yet the Mountaineers see very poor right out of the gate. You're getting a long touchdown pass. Looks like our defense covered for broken. What do you see there, Will?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we need to earlier. Both of the offenses were very similar, so should have been no surprises. But it seemed like in the first half, they got the upper hand. And in the second half, it seemed like that defense settled down and played a lot better. And, you know, anytime when you talk about this last week, anytime you get the ball, some plays on you made, you get the ball to his playmakers, around the body, and they consider it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Think about this, man. Kingsley and Holston, they're both from the same mold for the most part. So you can imagine, just as quick as he can score, they can turn right back around and score just as quick. I mean, that's what it seemed like we saw this weekend. What do you think of it? What do you think of it, Jordan?
Yeah, I definitely felt like, West Virginia, they were actually looked like they were stunned, but it was kind of, like, for me, I was surprised because, they were the same offense, and it was very shocking. And then when West Virginia Texas Tech had momentum, kept getting momentum, it felt like, the lead just kept getting bigger, and they were making stops. But nonetheless, I was on the sideline, the guys just knew that it wasn't Texas Tech that was beating them. West Virginia was beating themselves, just making key miscues in certain plays and stuff. When they got that clean up at halftime, the results showed how great that team was.
That's a great point. We talked about this last week because we had Joe Holder there. We talked about a team who could really internalize what's going on the field, right? They were able to really think about what was going on. You never saw anybody pout about it. All they did was go out there and try to make the next play. That's what's so gratifying to watch the Mountaineers as of yet. I mean, they just seem to be very composed and ready to get out there and doing every play. Early on, we saw a struggle a little bit in the last game for the most part, but it seemed like Will was waiting to get his move back. What do you think early on without the pass ball?
Oh, actually, not the pass ball. I was surprised how little we ran the ball. Justin Crawford only had 47 yards total in the whole game, which is kind of disappointing because you want to be able to run the ball and set up the fast, but I thought it was great that when we could run the ball, we still could throw the ball. And I think in the first half, Texas Tech came out and said, "You're not going to run the ball against us." And eventually, kind of softened the defense up and started making some passes.
Well, I believe that needs to be put in place from based on what they saw play TCU. And I said last week, TCU, they talked about how their defensive line is way right now, 50 out remain. For the most part, we saw the same type of unit play against our ball club. We were outmanned in terms of weight-wise. When it came down to us being able to push their offense, their defensive line around, I think that probably helped us a little bit. When you got those big guys, those big bodies in the middle, it just makes it very hard to move. And Jordan, I know from your standpoint, you're more interested in winding them out and making them play the whole field.
Right. And I mean, you got to play to your advantage. So basically, what West Virginia roster, just looking at the roster for the other teams in the Big 12, we're just relatively a small team, just based on people like the line from Texas, or for TCU, Baylor, where they got a big heavy. We're more built on the speed aspect, whereas they're more built on the power aspect. Texas Tech is more predominantly known as a running football team, and we're more in the area. So basically, if you do like that, you got to play towards your strength. I figured out one of the reasons why Crawford didn't have as many yards as he allowed me to run the ball is because he felt fine. When you fall behind the ball, you have to play catch up. The best way to play catch up is to throw the ball. So I
this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
To the form, that's what we did this game.
Well, we got behind, but then we started running the ball. We caught up and we just kept running the ball. So that, we got behind and started running the ball. We had success with it. We continued with it. So, then broke, fix it.
Yeah, it's the same.
And well, maybe I think Coach Rose, when we say behind Coach Rose, even though it's not even though he got to be up, right, he got to be up 2 touchdowns to really kind of feel, feel ready. One thing that was surprising me that I did, and I know I'm taking things away from the guy, but last week we talked about how less Will Greer was on the ground. This week, I think we gave up 3 or 4 sacks. That was really odd for our defense, and I assume based on what they saw TCU do, they probably came at it a little different schematically and was coming and rushing in different ways we had not seen before. But there was some time, there was just a lot of pressure on Will. I had to give him credit, Will, for sticking in there and taking those blows and really staying under control and not pushing about it.
Well, everyone to set his feet, because people set his feet, he's going to get this ball out quick. So, and they brought guys to the outside, try to push by the pocket. And they were be on the run and try to be accurate, faster on the run. So, you saw a lot of aggressions coming from the outside, kind of flushing. And he still did a great job. But if you look at the stats, he had minus 36 yards. That was all from sacks. So, and all that pretty much already happened in the first half. So, obviously, at halftime, you reach your offensive mindset and say, hey, look, if we're going to come back in this game, you got the front, got to check this guy. Because, again, if he get a seat that his feet set, he can throw when he get that ball out. I put up this game.
Jordan, one good thing about it, if you're going to sit those guys like that, you better be prepared to pay the price, because that's what happened, right? If you send those guys and they don't make it home, we're talking about a Marcus Sims screwed up down the field. We're talking about a David Seal slicing inside on a slant, making the first down. That's what I seem like we got. If they weren't going to commit more men than we had, we were getting the ball to our receivers there really, really quick. Talk about any check call, anything related to the quarterback getting the ball out of his hands fairly quickly.
Usually when they're bringing pressure, especially from the outside, it's going to involve some type of man coverage. And basically, man coverage is either big plays. Definitely big plays because there's a lot of holes in the defense. All you got to do is beat one man, catch the ball, there's no one else there, just daylight. And as you saw with David Sills and Quan White, there was a lot of big plays there that helped West Virginia get back in the game. Texas Tech just kept going and going with blitzes. And it just created opportunities for the receivers and Will Greer to pick up.
And that's what I see. I said time and time again, whenever I saw a guy isolated, specifically on David Seal, when we were going on that last drive, and it was a nice setup. They went twins away. They kept running to their twin side. Then they ran and put the twin on David's side, and he was on the outside. They was on the inside. He had a one-on-one. I'm thinking 6'4", 6'5", and turn his body in on that corner. That corner has no place. And he hit him with a slant. And again, I just give the coach credit enough to be able to identify that early and be able to exploit it when the opportunity presents itself. Guys, we saw all around great game from our football teams. I wouldn't even say struggling. I would say they were getting their feet up underneath them that first half. Would you say that? Would that be a good comparison?
I feel like basically the first half, not really getting their feet up underneath them. I think they just came in just thinking like, you know what, we're going to beat Texas Tech. It's going to be about beat Texas Tech. And when it came out, Texas Tech was, it was homecoming, so you're going to do these home and stuff. But you wouldn't expect the Texas Tech team to come in on the road, down with confidence and swagger, and just with that motivation. Usually, especially the first drive. The first drive you think they would just come in, kind of play conservative, try to get in the room and stuff. But they came out and just started opening fires and stuff. And I think that caught what you did about surprise. Somebody like we kind of like stumbled, like you said, but then once we kind of settled in, we're like, you know what, we can start playing football.
And that's what I saw last week when we talked about it, right? I talked about when I saw Texas take good against Kansas. They came right out. I'm talking just open the can of whoop. They just, first drive from Kansas. Everyone's like, where did it come from? And then they came with the same formula. They tried to stun West Virginia early. They get away with the score. They didn't think I was bobbled, but we kept ourselves composed. And the big component that you mentioned is the fact this is a homecoming game. right? And it's a different dimension or a different feeling for players playing homecoming. Talk about it, Will.
You got a lot of things going on, especially on campus, and you got a lot of old guys coming back and things like this. There's a lot of distractions. So, you know, and what are you looking to? In the first half, it seemed like you were kind of caught off guard. You were trying to get going, and then you could withstand that onslaught that Texas Tech gave us in the first half. And say, you know what, guys, we withstood it. We couldn't get it working, but let's go out and have a great play. And they did withstand it. Like I said, again, it's tough. It's tough because there's a lot of things going on. Like you said, I was standing on the sideline. They just started setting on the sideline. Kevin White was there. We were going to Smallwood, Silver Gibson,
Well, I can only imagine what that pressure felt like when they went in the locker room and the score was what, 28-17? That was a lot of pressure for our guys. Think about that, man. You're playing a homecoming game. All your fans are on side, all the former players on the sideline, and they're watching you go into that locker room as an underdog, 28-17. You can only imagine those talks that they had in the locker room in terms of what they need to do to turn that thing around. And I'm sure there were no choir boys up in there.
I'm experiencing something like that. My sophomore year, actually, that year, overall, our homecoming was against Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State was dominating. And we go to half down 17. You know, it's just like, all these alumni over here, like, kind of looking at y'all like the suspect and everything. But we end up pulling up the victory. You know, it's a big deal when you win, especially on the
Guys, at that time, it's going to break right there, and I want to give away something. All you had to do is really listen to what we were saying all so long, and I gave you the answer. All you have to do is you have to raise your hand first, right? But to raise your hand, you got to be down here at Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill every Wednesday at 6 p.m. If you don't get us here, make sure you go check us out at DominionPost.com. Okay, this is an easy one. I need to know what the score was at halftime. What was the score going into the locker room at halftime? All you have to do is raise your hand. Raise your hand. Got a hand over there. 28-17. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're going to get yourself a 4-pack of cups.
Yeah.
Thanks for paying attention. We got Alrighty, guys. Again, to win, all you gotta do is come here at the Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill at 6 p.m. every Wednesday. We're always here. Guys, let's jump right back into it. Okay, we talked about a whole lot of offense. I did have a few doing. We're coming back to the dark side. We're coming back to the dark side. Defense, guys. I mean, you know, at the same sense, you know, talking about not being rattled or what have you. But on the defensive side of the ball, boy, when you're digging out a hole like that, boy, every turn forward-two has to kick in. You have to know that you're better than the next guy, and it's only a matter of time before, you know, I noticed that the team come around, they carry that big hammer with them, right?
Yeah.
They keep knowing they got to hit those slugs, right? That's what it seems like. Talk about that, Will, coming from a deficit such as that.
You talk about these scoring 22 and but also means that our defense didn't give up anything, right? So, you know, when you look at this team, and it reminds me of our team back in '88, you have a quarterback, we have major records, right? But you got a guy, you get the ball in his hand, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. So, you know, you want to play good defense, get the ball back close, because a lot of times we want to see what he was going to do. When you make plays, he said, all right, guys, let's get
second man tackle, first man secure, the other man rips. Looking for fumbles, looking for interception, taking those chances. And I thought that's what we want. We wanted the turnover ratio. We were able to get the ball out. And once we got the ball out, we were able to do good things with it. Anytime we do this as a football team, we chop it up, right? And our defense is statistic room. We have a set amount of turnovers that we try to do. And if we get those, we feel better about winning the game. What do you think about our turnover ratio this past week?
Well, like I told you, turnovers, like I told you, the first show turnovers is the key to winning a football game. I mean, in Virginia Tech, we had 0 turnovers. And the result of it is L. You know, but definitely, like you said, you know, defense, they want to get off the field. They want to get off the field and get the offense opportunity, especially when you got great playmakers like Greer, Sills, and Vermont White. You just want to give them the opportunity to have the ball in their hands, you know, magic can happen. And turnovers, you know, defense did a phenomenal job. They've got key big moments, they have big stops, they have big turnovers, they create momentum, and you can just tell the momentum in the whole stadium just started shifting. The energy started siding with West Virginia, and then the breaks started falling in West Virginia's favor. So that's always a good thing when that happens. And it all just starts to turn over.
And you know, I see guys like Michael Daniels, right? The redshirt sophomore, cornerback, being very aggressive as a corner. You know, I figure they got beat first. Once our corner started playing aggressive, you know, talking a little smack, and that's all a part of two fans. Don't get all jammed up over. When you see our guy get a little animated, we have to do that. We have to make the other players know that this is our house and ain't nothing gonna come easy here. That's just how it works, okay? So don't get mad about our guys about that smack talking. That's part of business. And I have to say, Michael Daniels did a great job on his side, and the other corner did an awesome job. And always the safety guys, Kazir White and the other guys, they do a great job of being intimidated. Some of them big hits, man, really causes a player to think about catching that ball off the middle. And again, I'm just proud of our guys because they had that go mentality, and they were prepared to lay it all out for their football team. And whenever you got that, you got a winning combination. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, you kind of wasn't proud of ourselves because they kind of put us in some jams, bunch of stuff to get out of it. This week, they didn't do anything the purpose, like, and you know, that's the good thing. You just have to get better. I think as far as kickoffs, you know, not letting the big kickoffs come out because it's hard as a defensive guy. You go out on the field and the kickoff turn to 40, 45, 50. You look behind it, you got a short field. So you know, when that ball goes in the back of the end zone or a tackle, you know, like you said, one of the things you want to get is that tackle. You want anything to go back to 20-yard line. So now I'm standing on the 20 and looking back. I got a lot of acres behind me, so you know, it's not going to be that easy for them to protect them. So special teams, you know, they play a critical role in winning the football. You got to have a pretty phases. So I think they did a pretty good job on Saturday there. Help, you know, this whole thing.
I think it was very apparent when we look across the field and see Texas Tech missing 3 field goals, 3 critical field goals that really hurt their ball club. When we talk about on our end about 3 phases of the game, that phase of the game was probably their weakest showing on the field. And I know that young man's having a terrible week, but somebody had to lose. Somebody had to lose. And I'm not going to be upset that the Mountaineers is on the winning side of that, right? But, you know, you make a great point in terms of, this was mentioned last week, and again, we really, you know, we're not controlled by anybody, right? So last week, I think you mentioned about, you know, the kicking game and not getting the ball to the 20-yard line. Man, it came to show up on us. You know what I mean? They had a short field a lot of the game, you know, because they were able to bring it out to the 45-50-yard line consistently. That is an area that we got to improve on, and I'm sure they'll go back to the tape. Because we're on Big 12 play now. You know, all these games are for real. Right now, we are in the middle of the pack. Everybody that's ahead of us to beat somebody. So now it is time for us to really have all 3 sides of the ball playing. What do you got?
Yeah, like you said, you know, the kicking game is definitely crucial, especially also how long the kickoff. I work on punt because I mean, there's a couple punts where he shanked it and you know, caused for a short field. Luckily, our defense was on a roll, and you know, they didn't hurt us that bad. But that's going to be very crucial. It's going to be very key, especially in a close ball game when you're
yardage there when it comes to that stuff. Because at the end of the year, you evaluate all those hit yardage. I assume you'd be amazed about, as we often say, what's left in the field, right? We hate to lose and leave things out in the field. And when we lose a game, you really thinking, what did I leave out in that field? And you may have hit it on the head. You left those hit yardages out in the field. I agree with you.
Most people don't see that,
Right.
It's part of the game, and you don't see it on Sunday in the newspaper. But trust me, the coaching staff, they see that.
Right. Big deal. It's so important, so important. But listen, I don't want to seem like a worry wart. The Mountaineers won that game. We won 46 to 35. Our guys did an awesome job. And have we done this before?
No, I think this is the largest point deficit we came back from.
Largest point deficit from home. From home, I believe.
Okay.
All right, we got anything else? Where we at on time? We're good?
Ready to give something away?
Good. We're going to give away something. Okay, Jordan, you got anything to give away?
Yeah.
All right, let me remind people how to win first. All right, to win, all you have to do is raise your hand. We've talked about a few things up here. We'll get a mic over to you, and we will allow you to share your answer. But to do that, you got to be down here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. If you don't catch us here, make sure you go to DominionPost.com. Take it away.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna give away this T-shirt. It's a Green Turtle T-shirt, blue one. You just gotta answer this question. I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but if you're a true Mountaineer fan, you should know the answer. Davis Hill has a total of 12 touchdowns this year. If he continues at the rate he is going, Davis Hills could potentially break which former WU receiver's touchdown receiving record for a single season?
Give them multiple choices, then again.
All right. A. Tavon Austin.
What?
B. You need multiple choice, or are you good?
I can't hear.
You know it?
Steppenberry.
Hold on.
Bailey.
Who?
This is.
Stephen Bailey.
Yeah, that's correct.
There we go.
What size
Beat
T-shirt
you
is
to
it?
it. That might become a night woman for you.
Yeah, until he gonna grow into it though.
Y'all should have given that fidget spinner.
Hell yeah. You should trade.
We'll
Hey, you
switch
want ask me you want to trade?
Look, we'll get you the fidget spinner.
You want a fidget spinner? Or you want a
There we
T-shirt?
go. Look, we even accommodating here. We had an 11-year-old, he might be 10 or 11, just one, and we gave us a fidget spinner. Great job. Great job. Again, to come down here, to win, all you have to do is come down here. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. If you don't catch us here, make sure you can go check us out at thedominionpost.com. All right, guys, let's jump back into it. Okay, like I said, guys, big win for the Mountaineers. If you were a fan and you didn't stay there well until the TikToks went off the clock, you missed the game. I mean, because that game was won, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You said, truly won in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We had some missed punts. We had a touchdown by David Seals. We had a touchdown by White. And then we also had an interception by his brother.
Kaiser, yeah.
Right? That was a something that you make movies out of, in my opinion. Right? So if you missed that part of the game, folks, you really missed a great Mountaineer game. And I'm happy to say that I was in attendance. It was really, really good. But guys, we got to prepare to move on, right? Coach is always talking to you can't worry about the last play. You got to worry about the next play. And that next play for us is Baylor, right? And that's a big pile of greens right there. That's a lot of pinto beans in a bowl right there. Yeah, that's some good eating there, right? Now let's talk about Baylor a little bit. Now Baylor, last year we went down there, we won, did we? Yep, we won 24-21. Now I look back 2 years later, the score was 62-38, and that just happened to fall on my birthday. So my birthday is coming up on Saturday again. Let's not have history repeat ourselves. Come on now. Come on now. Let's not do this now. Let's not do this. And this is a significant birthday for me. So guys, I'm telling you, I want to have a happy evening that weekend. So make sure you come back and first of all, make sure you prepare. Baylor. I'm sure you are though.
Right. Well, those are tough games though, because we got a team that they haven't won a game, but they play some good football.
Right.
and considering all the off-season stuff they've gone through, and that team has dealt with a lot. So they got the most dangerous team. Those teams that don't got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because trust me, they're gonna come out and they're gonna be firing on all cylinders. They're gonna do whatever they got to do to try to get a win, especially being able to play at home. So a lot of times you come off a big win like WVU has, and now you want to just exhale and be like, all right, we got an 0 and whatever team we're playing. You can't do that.
Right.
Definitely. So our guys got to be ready mentally, and you can't go in there thinking we're just going to sleepwalk through this and going to beat these guys. Trust me, they're going to come out and punch in the face.
Hey, now Jay-Z, why you gotta bring up the past, man? I was part of that 2 years. I was part of that team, man. Yeah, we went down to Waco, and they handed it to us. But like you said, man, it's a completely different team, just especially with all the allegations they've been going through and all the stuff. I mean, like Baylor really took a hit. That team, that game 2 years ago when we were playing in Waco. I mean, that was a top 5 football team with Coleman. And Seth Russell at quarterback, and Linwood at running back. They were fast. They were fast. It was a good experience and stuff. But it actually helps that some of the players on that team have experienced what it was like in Waco. I mean, and the scene and everything. It's gonna be a little bit different just because of Baylor's record and stuff. But nonetheless, like he said, Baylor's gonna come out with nothing to lose, and that's what I like being. I like being an underdog in games, just because you have nothing to lose. People expect you to lose, so you just lay it out on the line. That's what happened. That's happened to Baylor the last following year before that in 2014 when they came in to Morgantown and we handed them that L. We beat them. We were a big time underdog, but we came out and were victorious. And so they're tending to do the same thing, and especially since they're playing in front of their home crowd and trying to get that first victory of the season.
Just imagine, we walk in Waco, Texas. There's musket, and Mama's bear is trying to guard those cubs. And I tell you, it can be ugly up there. Our Mountaineers got to be ready. I mean, this could be a trap game. They're 0-6 right now. As you gentlemen both said, they have nothing to lose. We have to go in there with our muskets loaded, ready to play some football, because they're not going to give us anything easy. We all talked about the program. It's in turmoil right now. They're trying to find themselves identity-wise, but they have athletes. There ain't no doubt about that. They have athletes down there. They're going to lace them up and put their pads on just like we do here in Mountaineer country. And I know our Mountaineers are not going to back off right now. They know how important it is for them to go down there and have a productive game. Let's talk about just the general atmosphere out of Texas. What are people thinking about BYU, BU, with all this going on? Get ready for Baylor.
They just the state of Texas is like, there's this disbelief, it's like, it just kind of like lets you down, especially the Baylor University as a program, to see how high you have come, and especially being low, being like irrelevant to college football, and then starting with the RG3 era, finally getting, some popularity, and then all of a sudden being top 5 in talks to going to the national championship, having one of the best teams in the state nation, and then all of a sudden you get hit with allegations and stuff, the scandals and all that, and it just takes a toll on you. It's just very tiring. You just feel like ashamed, but they have great pride. Nevertheless, the fans have great pride. The players have great pride. They love Baylor University. Even some of the commits, even despite the allegations, still went to the University of Baylor for a reason. That's because they're very prideful in Baylor University. And when you have players like that are dedicated and very proud of being a Baylor Bear, it brings a type of, I guess you could say, connectivity with players and strengthen bonds, and that can actually cause for a trap game. When you got people out there laying it all out on the line and stuff against a team who's kind of like taking it for granted, like, oh, they're 0-6, we're going to walk over them. It's a trap game. Nonetheless, I feel like, Dana's going to have them ready to play. Dana will have them ready to play, and the Mountaineers will actually just continue success as they did from the Texas Tech game.
And you see, I asked that question of Jordan because he's from Texas. Yeah. I'm sure he has some insight on the atmosphere down there. But we're from football country. No matter where it's at, we got to play the game. And I suspect, as you know, as Jordan just said, being 0-6, I want to hit the first thing that steps in front of my face.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that feeling.
Well, I mean, and Jordan alluded to it earlier, you know, with all the turmoil that's going on within their program, it's drawing those guys closer together. And they're looking for something to rally around. So a win against West Virginia right now will be something that team and that university, that football program can rally around. So, you know, we may be stepping into a bee's nest, so we got to understand that, you know, again, we can't sleepwalk, we can't take them for granted. And Jordan's right, you know, the coaching staff is going to tell them all of these things, but these guys got to believe it.
Yeah.
You know, coach can tell you anything, but you got to believe that, you know what, these guys are going to come out and they're going to fight and they're going to fight and they're going to punch. So you better be ready for that. Probably be some trick plays. I mean, all kind of stuff. So, you know, fake punch, anything. I mean, anything for them to put themselves in a position to win a game, they're going to do it. They're going to lay it out on the line. So we got to be ready for their best punch.
Right. 0-6, we can't be taking slugs down there. We need the buckshots.
Spray,
the spray pellets, right? We're going to need the spray pellets because, boy, it is going to be a shootout down there in Waco. And I tell you, I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see our team yet again prove themselves against the nation, right? We've always reloaded. We've always had to prove ourselves to be highly ranked, to be looked at as a program that is on the turn. I said a couple of shows ago, you know, we're going to find our space in the Big 12, and I think we'll be sitting at the top before long. Well, we just need a chance, and we just need, as Coach Stooge said for our team, just believe, right? All we got to do is believe, and we'll get there. And I have to say, last but not least, we got the greatest fans in the country. And I know this because we've seen them travel throughout the Big 12 for the last couple of years. No whining, no worry. You see Mountaineers flocking all over the Big 12 to cheer on our team. And Jordan, I'm sure, although Willie and I have never played under ours like that, you've been able to appreciate that when you travel all over the Big 12 and you see that West Virginia, that flying WVU all over the country.
Yeah, it's definitely a great sign that you have fans everywhere across the nation. Like, not even just in West Virginia, not in Virginia, it's just everywhere, like Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas even. So, I mean, it's a great feeling to be a Mountaineer. You know, just very prideful and appreciative and very blessed to be a Mountaineer. So, yeah, it's definitely a great feeling.
Good deal. So look, I wanna just make a clarion call out to all the Mountaineers. If you in Waco this weekend and you happen to run into anybody and you have your cell phone with us, make sure you say hi to the guys that in the huddle. You know, Big Will and Jordan. If you're down there in Waco, go ahead and tag us. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and all that. Because we're thinking about you. I'm saying this because we're thinking about you. We know you're going to be down there rooting on our team. We're excited about it. I can't say enough. Strategy-wise, let's talk strategy-wise. Because I'm going to tell you what I thought a few years ago, the difference between the two wins and losses, right? My first thought was the first year we beat them down there, Will, you and I talked about this on the show. We talked about our guys going cover zero. Remember that?
Yep.
We went cover zero on them. We felt we shut the pass down. And we played solid enough to play underneath and stop the run. But then the second year, when they came to Mountaineer, to our field, we stayed in that cover zero, and then you caught glimpses of us watching the running back run up the field while we're chasing. You know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
Those was that's what got us kind of off kilter, I think. You remember those?
I remember. So I guess your question is which team are we going to have? That
Absolutely.
team that we can play, put 7 in the box and play man coverage behind it, or are we not stout enough to stop the run with that 3-3-5 that we're going to have to play some zone behind it and bring guys in different areas, bring the spur, bring the bandit, and things like that. So I haven't seen Baylor play that much, so I'm not sure what they do offensively. I'm sure they haven't changed a whole lot. Most teams in the Big 12, they're going to throw the ball. They're going to spread you out, make you cover the whole field, and throw the ball over the field. So I don't see us changing our scheme that much. We're going to mix it up. We're going to play some zone, and we're going to play some man. So we got to pick when we play either one. So a lot of times it's matchups. So if we see a certain formation and certain players, we're probably going to play some zone, or vice versa. We might just play man.
What you got, Jordan?
Yeah, I agree with him completely. I don't think we're going to change our scheme that much, as the fact that this Baylor offense isn't as potent as it was as the previous years. It's still a good offense, but not as potent where you have playmakers where you can have one-on-one matchups, mismatch with Coleman versus a cornerback with less experience. Like, you can't. The man-to-man coverage is kind of hard, especially in the past. Baylor, what they did is they widened out their receivers so wide, that basically on the sideline, where you were forced to play man-to-man. And so all they would do was zone pass. They just run zone pass. And so you were forced to play man-to-man, and that led for like cornerbacks to be on the island and stuff, and that's how they had explosive plays. This offense now is more of a Big 12 type offense, more West Virginia type offense, more Oklahoma style offense. So I feel like West Virginia is going to mainly prepare for it as if they were playing one of those opponents and kind of mix in man with zone and blitzes and stuff. So like you said, I don't feel like they're going to change anything. They're going to scheme towards it, and it's going to be successful.
You know, the only thing, again, because I keep it real on this show, the only thing that I'm really concerned about is depth on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Depth in terms of being able to flip our guys over from week in and week out, banging, and they've seen that they can run the ball in between the tackle zones, right? Is to be able to have that depth where we can get our fresh legs in there when we need them the most. If they take advantage of us there, it could be a long week for us. But other than that, as you guys mentioned, I don't see a glaring emphasis where we need to focus in on outside of having depth at those front three positions. Linebackers, I think we're solid there. Again, I don't want to say concerned,
Right.
but realistically,
But it
we
sounds
gotta
like
have, you know, we gotta have some depth there.
Right. Well, I look at it, and I was on the field for the TCU game, and I was talking to Broderick Jenkins, and I was looking at the DBs for TCU. Texas Tech. Those guys were 6'2", 6'3", and I was looking at our corners, and that's one of the things that I noticed going from we're in the what conference were we in before? We're in the Big East to the Big 12. The corners. I mean, and that's where those matchups come from. If you got a receiver like Coleman who's 6'3", 6'4", and you got a corner from West Virginia who's 5'10", 5'11", to me that's a mixed match. So, and not to try to get off turn, but we're gonna have to start recruiting some bigger corners because our guys fight and they compete, but you can't compete when a guy's 5 inches taller than you are. So it's a glaring difference between the corners that we have and the corners that a lot of the teams in the Big 12 have, even in the country. So nothing against the corners we have. I was a short corner. When I played, I was 5'9.5", 5'10" with some boots on. So I think that plays a lot into it when you have big receivers. And you got to match up with those guys. So, and I'm looking at Jordan. You look, and he's a short guy. But the problem is, you put him in a slot, you're gonna put a safety on him.
That's how you can't.
Now that safety's got to guard this guy, and that's a mismatch. So, that's why it comes down to scheme. So that's why you got to watch film and know, all right, who's lining up on the outside, who's lining up on the inside. How are they gonna hurt us? Are they going to line a 6'4" kid up on the inside and put the shorter guy on the outside? I mean, that's all the things you got to think about when you're game planning.
Yeah, and like he's completely correct, especially with scheme, especially when you go into the aspect of, okay, if we play man-to-man, how are we going to scheme it up? Because like we did the other, like my year when we beat Baylor up here, when they played a lot of man, we had big corners, Worley, Razul Douglas. And Razul had to play, like Razul wasn't a starter, but that was his first start, and it's because of the scheme, because he's a big corner. You had 2 6'3" corners on the outside, and that matched up with Baylor's 6'3", 6'2" receivers. So it created a mismatch and stuff. And then, like when they try to play man against us, like you said, I was smaller, so I was in the slot. So usually in the slot, I have 2 people that guard me, 1 linebackers that guard me, which they're not used to. It's like a mismatch automatically right there.
Right.
But then, like you said, sometimes they'll bring the safety. Well, safety, playing from a safety position, your man isn't your aspect.
Right.
You're more zone, be the blanket up top and stuff. So when you're put into a man-to-man position, it's kind of brand new to them, so they're already at a disadvantage. you know, and that's where we usually gash them and stuff. So it's up the middle and stuff. So, like you said, it just comes down to the scheme and stuff. And like, I understand, you know, depth is like a big concern about it, but you know, it helps to have depth. But if you scheme right, it can, you know, can kind of balance it out in a certain aspect.
And I think to your points is the whole defense is kind of surrounded by those backers getting to where they got to get, and not giving that guy that time to be able to hit that 6'3" receiver.
Right.
You know, and I'm sure just, you know, since you've been playing, the routes are even shorter now because it's about getting that ball to the receiver's hand right away.
Yeah,
you know?
it's become a timing, just a lot of timing thing. Just all right, 1, 2, 3, turn the ball's already out.
Right.
You know, it just becomes a lot of time just because of the schemes, and just because of if they're bringing an extra guy, you have less time, get the ball out of your hands. You know, you just got to hope that your guy beats that man,
Right.
and you know wins.
And that might be the advantage to West Virginia, right? We're lean and fast and 3-3-5. Where in the remaining teams in the Big 12, 4-4. They're 4-3, but they're big at it. They're bulldozers.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I'm saying.
They're being power, and we are, and that's a different scheme of blocking in itself, right? The fact that we're always coming and going, that may work to our advantage. So that's probably what's helping us the most as we play these teams in the Big 12. Oftentimes, as I've stated many times already, the announcers talk about the disproportionation in size. Well, they're not realizing the conversation that we have in speed. You know, but they may be holding us up, but we're coming from so many different ways. And in my opinion, that kind of gives us an advantage. All right, what else are we going?
Time to get something away?
Time to give something away? All right, what are we going to give away?
T-shirt.
We gave that away once. We're gonna give because somebody got a hard question, right? Because I'm gonna give a year subscription. This is gonna be a good one. Did you get yours out already, Bo?
What's that? Come on.
Okay. Did you
Oh,
get
no.
yours right?
I don't have one, but I got a question.
Okay. All right, listen up. This is how you win this question. I got to remind them, Will, that to win, they got to be here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. If you don't catch us here, make sure you come down to DominionPost.com, and you'll always catch us there. All right, where we give away, Will?
I guess we're gonna.
I'm a surprise. You give them the question.
The
This
question.
is a
All right.
surprise.
Very easy question. This is a log. All right. Who's the leading receiver for the Mountaineers in touchdown passes?
That's a good one. That hand went up quick.
And how many?
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Sills.
The fix is
Who?
on.
Sills.
Sales, you're
Sales,
right.
yes.
Hey, since I already have a subscription, you'll get the shirt. That's my son over there. How you doing, AJ?
Hey, AJ, how many touchdowns does he have?
12
Gee,
touchdowns.
boy, I ain't got nothing to give you, but that's correct.
Good job. And my son just started playing football 2 years ago, so I'm glad you're watching, son. You're paying attention. All righty. All right, guys, again, to win this stuff, you got to be here at 6 p.m. at the Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. If you don't catch us here, make sure you go online and check us out at Dominion Post. Look on the football section. We'll always be there. All righty, let's keep after it, guys. Hey, guys, let's keep after it. Here we go. We're talking about Baylor. We'll be playing them this Saturday in Waco. Another Big 12 game. I think it's a 12 o'clock kick.
Yeah,
12 o'clock kick. Man, they're making us get up early, which means it's
It's
what?
11 o'clock for us, I think. Is that 1 hour?
1 o'clock for us, isn't it?
At 1 o'clock. Texas is an hour behind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be a
that's
1
what I said,
o'clock game for us.
Yeah, and that's another thing with traveling.
Yeah.
Stuff like we were talking about.
Taking
that.
advantage,
Yes, to get ready for that game, you know, that traveling deal, man. But again, our guys going to get a good night's sleep the night before, and they're going to be up and at 'em and ready to play.
What about the weather, JT? Is that, I haven't checked the weather. Is it going to be hot?
You know that, and that's a fact.
Nah, the weather's gonna be hot. It's gonna definitely be hot. Me like right now in Houston, like where I'm from, it's my sister should be snatched just like 86 degrees.
Oh man,
Wow.
that'd be nice. If the weather
That's
stays-
beautiful, man. What are you talking about? That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
but we're
Love.
not used to that right now. I mean, you know, this past week, well, Saturday, it was around 78, close to
Yeah.
80 degrees.
Right.
But now you're talking about almost close to 8, 9 degrees hotter.
Yeah, and that also plays. I remember it was crazy because it was in October. I remember it was my 2014. We went to Oklahoma State, and being up here, they were like, "Yo, hydrate, because it's in October. You know, it's cold. It was cold. You know, kind of chilly." And they were just like, "Yo, you need to drink, hydrate. You need to have fluids because you know when you get in Oklahoma, it's gonna be hot." And you know, we're out here. It's cold. We don't want to drink and stuff. So like, we're like, whatever. We get to Oklahoma State, noon kickoff. You know, so 1 o'clock here. we step on the field temperature is 103 degrees.
Yep.
It's 96 degrees natural, 103 degrees. And I'm talking about people just started cramping. Wendell Small would cramp, Shell cramp, Kevin White cramp. So it was like, dang. So like that's another key issue is like they're gonna have to hydrate. Put electrolytes in their body and stuff. Especially with it being kind of cool. They're still gonna prepare their mind as if they were playing in the heat.
I get it. And I don't like the heat like that too. So
I love that.
Oh man, I used to like the cold, to be honest with you. We play out of old Bet Stick and up in Philadelphia.
I'm hearing the Baylor game is the 8 o'clock kickoff.
Is it 8 o'clock?
That's a night game?
Yeah, so that's even better for us then.
Okay. Correction. 8 o'clock game. It's right here.
That tells you right there, man.
Tell me right there. I wasn't paying attention.
So it's 7
8
o'clock.
o'clock.
That's
Okay,
what it
there
is.
we
That's
go.
my mistake.
See, we got fans who pay attention. Thank you guys. Correction. 8 o'clock game. Makes it 9 o'clock here, right? Does that
No,
work?
it's gonna be 8 o'clock. It's gonna be 7 o'clock there.
It's 7 o'clock, yeah.
7 o'clock there. Okay. We'll get it right. Before we break the huddle, we'll get it right. All righty. Good stuff. All right, guys, we're gonna dedicate a little bit of time to answering questions. We got a lot of time, so please ask your questions. Don't wait till we get away from the booth. There she go.
Okay, I have a trivia question.
There we go.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Look, she would have stumped them.
So there is no prize, actually. Who was the quarterback at WU before Mark Bolger, 94-96 season?
Who was the quarterback before Mark Bolger?
Before Mark Bolger.
Okay, I know that one.
You answered.
We're gonna be Chad Johnston.
You won. Ding, 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 ding.
She said there was no prize though. She
Yeah.
put that in there. She's like, no prize. There's no prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
But
stumped
that
us last week.
could have been a trick question though, because there was competition, right? You remember who he's in competition with? Chad Johnston, who's in competition with? That's a question. There you go, right there. Get you back. So now tell me who Chad Johnston was in competition with before he got the starting job. And I'll give you a hint. The guy came from Michigan. The quarterback came from Michigan.
Got me on
He
that
was
one.
in competition with Chad Johnson before he was named the starting quarterback. I'll give you two guesses. Cause let me see if I can remember all the quarterbacks. I'll give you a couple quarterbacks on that.
You know the
it was
answer?
I know the answer. It was Louis. It was Wookie Perez. It was because I want to give you quarterbacks who was on the field then, or it was oh my God.
You're gonna get your own
I'm
question
looking at
wrong.
his name, huh?
Yeah, you stumped yourself.
I did. I got his name. It's Eric Boykins, or was it? Who else was there? Jawan Snyder was there.
Yeah,
Snyder was
Snyder
there.
Yeah.
Out of four of those guys, I said
You have
Wookie
two questions. You
Perez,
have two
Eric Boykins, or Jawan Snyder.
Boykin.
Eric Boykins. There we go. Eric Boykins, and they were competing for the starting job.
Okay, next week I'll have a harder question.
What do we got? See, that's how it works out. I hit you with a hard one, and I don't get any more. What we got? I know we got a question from my friend over there.
I'll give you a question.
Okay.
Well, I know Baylor's struggling with overcoming a, devastating scandal, for lack of a better word. And you look at, there's a team up north that wears white with blue stripe on their helmet that are doing pretty good. They got over a scandal themselves. You don't want to be that team that turns it around.
Right.
So coming off a big win like this, you guys have been in that locker room when you got to get pumped up for a team that you're supposed to beat. What's the message? I know you got to play every play, you got to play every down, but being an athlete myself, it's not always easy. You miss one down on defense, you give up a touchdown, and the whole game can change. So how do you stay motivated against an 0-6 team?
Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to remind yourself of your goals, preseason goals. A lot of times, we would have goals of what we wanted to do that year. So in a situation like this, we go back to look, this is what we said we wanted to do. And if we come in and stub our toe against these guys, then we're not going to complete our mission. So remember what our goals are, and we're not going to take anybody for granted, especially like a team like this. We have to be like that, like a jaguar, one of those lions in Africa. They try to find one in the pack that has the messed up arm, and then just, and that's what Baylor is right now. They're limping. They got some issues going on. So, we just got to go out and jump on them quick. That's the one thing. If we jump on them quick, I think they'll just, lay down and say, you know what, they'll just give it up and, say, all right, we just got to try to suffer through the season and get to next year. So if we come out quick and jump on them, I think that'll settle things real quickly. But again, you got to remember what your goals are. You can't say, oh, well, that's just Baylor. They're 0-6. We're just going to sleepwalk in here and, they're going to lay down. Trust me, they're not going to lay down. Again, like Jordan said, down in Texas, football is king. And, those guys are prideful. So they're not just going to come in, let you come in the house and say, all right, here, do whatever you want. They're going to fight. They're going to do whatever they can to get that W. And they're looking for a signature win. And, if they were to beat West Virginia, that would be a signature win for them. That would be something that they can build on going through the rest of the season.
I agree with him completely. We got to go out there and jump on it. And like you said, like how's it when you face like a top 15 ranked team and then go to face a team that's defeated basically 0-6? How do you end up staying up for it? Great win against Texas Tech. You celebrated that victory that night. But the following day it's back to the drawing books. That's in the past. You're not worried about what you did in the past. You're just more focused on the mistakes, because they watch film that night. They worry about the mistakes and how you can correct yourself, because even though you got away with the victory, that's not always going to be the case. That's not always going to be the story. There's going to become a time when you're in a crucial game against Oklahoma State, against Baylor, against OU, where you're faced with that same opportunity, and say you haven't taken it seriously watching film and stuff, you give up a touchdown. Like you said, you give up a touchdown, where in the past you stop, but since you think it's all just second nature, you give up a touchdown. So what you just take each game seriously, and like what he said is, if you jump on the Baylor Bears early, put up 17 points in the first quarter, another 17 in the second quarter, defense holds them to at least 3 points, they're going to lay down. They're going to be like, all right, it's not our year, it's not our week. We'll worry about the next week. They just hurry up and get this game over with. They're going to quit. So like he said, just jump on them boys real quick, real fast. Polish up, because you got the polish up critique. You want to structure your craft in this game to get better, because each week is an opportunity to get better, because for the next following week. So that's how I feel like you should take it.
I'm going to hit it from the flip side of that coin, because we were in that position. 1994, coming off an undefeated season, 12-0, had high expectations for the Mountaineers. We started off 1-4. Remember those days? We started off 1-4, and your question was, how do you prepare for a team that's in that type of situation? We were looking for the same team that Baylor's looking for. We were looking for that team in Missouri, right? Missouri I'll never forget it, they had a running back, he was 263 pounds, a running back, right? So we go to Missouri, and we saw what this guy was doing to the other teams. This guy was just banging. And I remember all my job was to hit that sucker as hard as I can and hope that everybody else is going to catch on, right? And I never forget it. And I'm talking about what changed the season. What changed the season was we were hitting this guy, I'm talking about constantly just running through the hole on belly plays. And he was a big guy, man. You hit him and he would knock the snot out of him. And I have to tell you, this guy was running off-tackle play. and our free safety from Morgantown, West Virginia, they call him Big Head. Big Head. His name was what was his name? David Mayfield.
David Mayfield, yeah.
Mayfield. Big head, little shoulders.
What do you do?
That
Headbutt him?
Joker, man, that Joker came out of the secondary wheel and hit this guy so hard, man. Bam! And it was like, and he just knocked him cold, you know? And I remember he getting up and he adjusted his shoulder, and our whole team was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah.
It's
We got
on.
him now.
That's what it took for us. And that changed our entire season. We ran the board after that. We lost one more game, and that was against Miami, and the score was 17-14. We lost. But that was the play that changed our season. We went from 1-4 and to running the table, and I think we ended up 6-5, and we were able to go to a bowl game. So I'm saying that to say, West Virginia, don't let that one guy from Baylor smack you in the mouth and change over their whole season, because that is possible. We done it here.
Yeah.
Great question. Great question. Okay. All right, guys. We're wrapping it up, but I have to say this. I saved this. I have to say it. As you notice, I'm wearing my breast care awareness shirt tonight. I want to remind that American Cancer Society estimate for breast cancer in the United States for 2017 are about 250,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women. About 63,410 new cases of carcinoma will be diagnosed early, which is the earliest form of breast cancer. About 40,000 women will die from breast cancer. About 40,000 women will die of breast cancer this year. Again, guys, I just want to remind you, when you see an opportunity to bring awareness to breast cancer, make sure you do this. I wear this shirt tonight in representation of my wife, who suffers from breast cancer. To all you mothers out there, aunts and aunties, and sisters and nieces, certainly I always pray for you that you never have the disease, and if you do, that we pray you through it. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Until next time, huddle up.